All right, after watching that trailer, I have to say I'm pretty hyped for the game. Like when you look at that final scene right there with Shadow, Chaos, Metal Sonic, and Zavik, a member of the Zeti from Lost World, and then you look at and then Sonic's realizing, okay, I've beaten these guys before. How hard can it be? But then they all look up, and then they realize there's someone else, and right off the bat, I mean, the design of the character looks pretty cool. I mean, it's got some, for a second there, it looked like I thought it was gonna be Mephiles from Sonic 06, but no, it's actually a different character. It's got, like dark, cubic powers, something like that. So it should be unique. What the villain is gonna do. It should be interesting. It's something different, so it should be unique. I mean, as long as it's not the Time Eater, like no one's ever gonna forget Time Eater in that god awful boss fight you had to fight in Sonic Generations. Like, we don't want a repeat of that. So it's something new. So it should be awesome. And I want to apologize for the lack of Sonic content for the last week and a half, because with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links with the World Championships, I've been really focused on that, try to get awesome rewards and such. And speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I know I'm going off a bit of a topic here, but just the other day, I mean, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions, and that new villain actually the first thing that I noticed, it reminds me of the villain of that movie, who uses, cube-like dual monsters. Everything's, cube related. Like, you'll get the reference when you see a trailer or anything from that movie, and you get the resemblance. But yeah, that's the first thing that popped into my mind, because because I've been focusing on the World Championships. But back to the topic. So yeah, it should be awesome, seeing a new character, which is always a plus. I'm just hoping that the final boss isn't gonna be Eggman, like really another Eggman boss fight. Like, haven't we fought like a million of these things already? So hopefully this new villain will be the true final boss, because Eggman doesn't have to be the true final boss all the time. Like, I like having new characters. I like, why not let them have the spotlight? Don't you just get tired of fighting Eggman over and over and over again as the final boss? Like, it's so anticlimactic. Like, oh, Eggman's behind this, but if he had an ace up his sleeve, then that makes things a little bit more interesting. Like if we're going off Mega Man logic, like when you look at Mega Man X8, which is the final installment of the X series, you realize that the final boss was not Sigma, it was actually Lumine, and the final boss fight was really cool, was kick-ass, had awesome music. But the point is that you have to try new ideas. So whatever this new boss fight's gonna be, hopefully it won't be boring, and we'll see where we have to go. Because when you look at that first trailer from Sonic Forces, you realize that like, it's Armageddon. Like, you gotta realize there's no way Eggman could have did this on his own. Like he's a fat scientist. How could he do all this? Like, after you've been stopping him for the last 25 years. If you're going by anniversary dates, like, there's no way Eggman could have done this alone. He had to have had some serious help. So I'm assuming a lot of things that have been getting attention is Shadow. Apparently, is he a hero or is he a renegade? Yeah, I know you all hate hearing that, because Shadow the Hedgehog, never forget. Oh, the Edge. Oops. I guess I said that. Yeah. So apparently Shadow's gonna. I'm just hoping that all these bosses actually have a purpose of why they're fighting us, rather than just they're just villains. Like, they have a real reason to fight us. Not like Sonic Generations, where they're just boss fights just for the sake of boss fights, just to collect the Chaos Emerald. So yeah, so I can't wait to see more upcoming footage in the upcoming months before the game releases. And the boss fight where Eggman switches from the Eggmobile to the Egg Dragoon was really cool. So it should be fun what kind of mechs Eggman's gonna use, these boss fights. So, but mostly Chaos is back. That's really awesome. So it should be fun to see what they have up their sleeve. Alright, those are my thoughts. Hope you all enjoy this. Alright, later.